Hello and welcome to another episode of Inspiring Life, where leaders, influencers, first time authors, and entrepreneurs spill the lessons, laughs, aha moments that just might spark your next big idea. I'm your host, May Gomez. For today, we have a very special guest. She's an aesthetic and occupational medicine physician, and she's also a master practitioner in neurolinguistic programming, NLP. She's a Reiki practitioner and a music therapy program counselor. So her work focuses on individuals for them to achieve holistic wellness, blending science, mind, and energy healing. So her justified name is Kyushan Fan, but most people know her as Doctora Ruby Pimentel Quinto. Hi, Doctora. Welcome to our episode today.
Yes, hello, Miss May. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be on our podcast. So, please share us a little bit more about what you do and your advocacies.
Yes, right now I'm busy with my music therapy program. I do counseling. This is for kids on spectrum, teens overwhelmed with their studies, and even working adults who are experiencing burnout. And seniors, I also have seniors, those who are experiencing early signs of dementia.
Thank you so much for sharing that, no? Now let's go go straight and take a deep dive on your book, MD PhD Diaries. No? So, what inspired you to write this book?
Actually, MD PhD Diaries, this book is very special to me. It's my first book, actually. It was born from, yes, it was born from years of working closely with healthcare workers, particularly midwives, where I have seen not only their physical exhaustion, but also their emotional struggles that are sometimes left unsaid.
Grabe, no? That must be very personal for you. To be, because I can only imagine how difficult it is to, experience that. And sometimes we think as physicians, doctors, or those in the medical profession, they are like robots or invincible people. Hindi tinatablan ng mikrobyo, hindi tinatablan ng ng bad days.
Hindi nagkakasakit.
Yeah. Kasi di ba pag doktor, bawal magkasakit, parang ganun, right? But I saw the vulnerability in your book, and thank you for making this book for the medical professionals. What is the most misunderstood or overlooked stressor that non-doctor healthcare workers face today?
I think one of the most stressors is the emotional labor. Actually, not only with the non-physician healthcare workers, but same goes with the primary care physicians. And adding to that, there is lack of recognition and limited space where they can process these emotions that they are struggling with.
Yeah, because I think there's only so much that sometimes the people in medical profession, they tend to give and give all the time, and people, of course, the patients, they seldom ask, kamusta kayo? Kamusta kayo, doktora? Ano, nakakahinga pa ba? I remember back when my kids were younger, so we would go to clinics and the pediatricians, the OB, and they would entertain so many clients. And I can only imagine how it must be for the public healthcare workers. Mas marami pa siguro. And I think of course, aside from the physical stress. You also mentioned emotional stress, no? And it's something that a lot of people or it's often overlooked. Maybe the person himself experiencing it sometimes they don't know until it's too late. Did you have a worker that experienced that na bigla nilang sumabog? Was there a case that happened?
Madalas may ganon, but most often they can handle their stress kasi talagang ang instruction is stay kind kahit gaano ka sungit or demanding ang patients or caregivers. They really have to stay kind. And sa amin ang instruction, especially sa public health, is to always wear smile. Sa ako personally, I was struggling kasi serious ako eh. I rarely smile, pero it doesn't mean masungit ako. Kaya lang when I do my work, talagang serious ako. So yun yung kailangan namin. So naka-smile. Pero ang pinaka naging nga sa akin yung awakening sa akin is during the interview ko sa mga midwives ko. Ang dami nilang pinagdaanan. Hindi nila alam that they carry this load so much na ito na pala yung nararamdaman nila, pero they still continue working. No, kasi syempre naman nung mga panahon nung unang panahon hindi pa uso yung mga issues about mental health. Yes, right. No, yan. So wala, they work, they serve. So hindi talaga big deal sa kanila 'yon. Malalaman na lang yan pag nagkakasakit na physically, not knowing na may part yung emotion.
It's good that you raise that point, no? Sometimes we are not aware. Most of the time when we feel sick, inisip lang natin, baka sobrang pagod, so physically. Pero hindi natin na-recognize yung emotional exhaustion, yung mental load that causes the physical impact. And most of the time, di ba, pag kumari masakit ang ulo, gamot, sakit ang katawan, gamot, hindi natin na-address yung deeper cause. So, when you were writing this book, was there something you learned that surprised you?
Yung isa kong nabanggit kanina, no, what really surprised me is how para bang normal na sa kanila yung mga pinagdadaanan nila, that they work not knowing na ang daming stress na kinahaharap nila even without less recognition. Sometimes kasi syempre sila non-physician healthcare workers, yung benefits hindi ganun ka-high, but they no longer recognize how much they're carrying kasi para sa kanila they have to serve.
I think by recognition, you don't just mean like, patayuan natin ng monumento or plaque or award. I don't think you mean that. I think it's more of like how people treat them, no? Because
yes.
Sometimes when you say recognition, sometimes doctors lang may special treatment. Sila parang, bahala na kayo dyan. Parang ganon sometimes, which is sad because of course they help us a lot, and I've seen that especially during the pandemic times.
Yes.
So for those who are listening right now, what are 2 to 3 practical strategies from the book that someone can apply on their next shift?
I have with me the book. I wrote here sa chapter 1. Basahin ko ha. May in-apply kasi ako dito sa book about RAA system. So dito sa RAA system, it means yung R, respond wisely. Yung A means accept what you can't control. And the other A is act with purpose. Yun yung nilagay ko dun sa RAA system. Kasi minsan, instead na mag-complain, ina-accept nila kung ano yung limitations, tina-process nila yung change, and then yung pag-accept naman is ina-accept nila na meron silang kahinaan and they have to improve through learnings and other experiences para mas ma-improve pa yun so they can serve. And then yung another A is they act with intention. So yun yung aking RAA system. Kasi sa body natin, yung sinulat ko nga dito, we also have RAA system, yung renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. So yan, balance ng ating blood pressure, ng fluid balance. So the same with our life, we can balance it with our ups and downs.
RAA. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Doctora. I think that's not only applicable sa people in medical profession, that's also people who are applicable to those who are working, parents, everyone who encounters stress on a daily basis. So, my next question would be, how do you address this particular guilt, that feeling of, so I should be able to handle this, that health workers carry sometimes? Yung sabi mo nga, yung invisible burden.
Yes. Yung guilt naman kasi, often it comes from our too much expectations from ourselves. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng guilt kapag hindi natin nagawa yung expectation na yon, especially when handling patients, when something happened na hindi mo na foresee. So I think you have to reframe the situation. Instead that I can handle it all alone, you reframe the situation that you are not meant to handle everything, that you are meant to handle it with your group, with your team. It's teamwork, not just an individual work.
Acknowledge when you need support.
Yes.
Malaking bagay talaga yun. Yeah, sometimes kasi, di ba, hindi natin sinasabi, and thinking that when we say the words, pagod na ako, I need help, other people might see us as weak, or it might translate as weakness. Pero the opposite is actually true, no? Especially when we don't wait until we're really, really low on fuel or low on our emotional well-being. So, for the leaders naman, those working na sila yung nagli-lead ng mga healthcare workers. So what can managers and hospital leaders do differently to help their people na it doesn't have to be a big drastic change?
I think they need to focus on the people, not on the productivity, but the people who are doing it. And we're talking about emotional struggle, so there should be a safe space where people can speak. Their voice can be heard, can be respected, and recognize everyone's effort, not just those who excel, but everyone's effort, because it really meant to them a lot.
That's great insight, no? Sometimes we don't realize how much impactful it is to be seen. Not just, of course, it would be great to have some monetary incentives, but yung simpleng ano lang na parang, oy, good work, good job. Parang ganun. Especially to those who are maybe doing yung mga hindi physicians, or those who are doing menial tasks, even yung mga cleaners sa hospitals, diba?
Yes, that's right.
I can only imagine how hard it is to, clean in an hospital, diba? So, for aspiring authors naman, what advice can you give for aspiring authors? Kasi, of course, ikaw dumaan ka rin sa journey. How was the journey for you? How was it as a first-time author?
Yung journey ko as a first-time author, yung at first, hirap, especially with the words that I'm going to use. But as I go along, especially yung communication ko with my staff, where I learned from them while I'm writing it actually, it helped me in ways. And also, I cried while writing this book. Sobrang emotional ako when I wrote this book. I really shed tears. Siguro, if I have something to advise sa mga gusto ring mag-write ng books is to write from the heart. Yun yung gusto ko lang i-share. So, sa book na ito talaga, binuhos ko lang yung emotions ko, kung ano yung totoo, kung ano yung naging experience ko, yung naging communication ko with the healthcare workers, sa mga staff ko, and then kung ano yung lessons that other people can learn from this, and even non-healthcare, they can learn something from this. When workers who are experiencing burnout, they can learn from this. And ang isang purpose ko rin kasi is for our healthcare workers to feel seen, heard, and recognized in little ways. Hindi naman sila like yung napag-usapan natin kanina na kailangang patayuan ng monumento. Yung a simple thank you, it really meant big deal for them. Makwento ko lang, Miss May, yung during the pandemic, I was really tired kasi yung online consultation, people always message me, anong gamot sa ganito, ganyan, puro ganyan. And then there this one person na akala ko ganun din, magme-message ng kung anong reseta, ganyan-ganyan. Pero nangamusta siya sa akin. Alam mo yan, sabi ko, wow, meron din palang nangangamusta sa amin. It really felt good. Nakakawala ng pagod.
Yeah, sometimes yun lang yung kailangan na after doing a day's work, especially when it's a long day, yung kamustahin ka lang is really means a lot.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that, Doctora. And I think it's a great message, not only for those working in the healthcare industry, but also to us who might be, wives, husbands, dealing with people who work on a daily basis when they come home, diba? Sometimes we forget na, oo nga pala, malaking bagay nga pala yung nagagawa ng kakamustahin mo when that person gets home tired from work. So thank you for that reminder. Last question na lang, Doctora. So what's next for you as an author? Do you have upcoming books or do you have upcoming events? Please invite them. And if you offer also services in Clinica Quinto, feel free to promote that as well.
Yes, thank you, Miss May. My program, Music Therapy, it's all about counseling. I do online counseling also. So for those who are interested in having mental health issues or those who just want to have focus and clarity, I offer music therapy program. And yes, I do have upcoming book. Actually, ito yung una ko dapat na book. Siya yung dapat kong unang i-release. It's about finding your true love. Yun yung dapat ang una kong kaya lang, dahil mas nagkaroon ako ng sympathy or dahil nung experience namin during pandemic. Actually, here kasi in Batangas, sunod-sunod yan. From the Taal eruption,
Yes.
tapos pandemic, wala kaming naging pahinga, tuloy-tuloy yan. So, lahat noong iyakan, so akala mo strong sila pagkaharap ang mga patient, pero kami, like ako nang nagki-cater sa kanila kasi umiiyak talaga sila from all the exhaustion. So sabi ko, and then may mga hindi nakaka-appreciate kasi syempre, di ba, kapag kulang ang service na binigay mo, talagang meron at merong masasabi. So I decided na mas uunahin ko tong book na to as my, and of course, kasi nag-resign na rin ako from public health. So I want this as a tribute para sa aking mga staff.
Thank you so much for that, Doctora. So, again, we would like to congratulate you on your new book. And of course, God bless sa upcoming books. We're excited to looking forward to reading them and guesting you again sa podcast when your new book comes out. So again, congratulations and thank you so much for being our guest on this episode.
Thank you, Miss May. Thank you.